Sicily, and then back around here to England. And then from England, they went into the Normandy, the invasion, and then through Europe toward Paris, up through France and Belgium, back down to the Bulge, back up through here, across the Rhine River, and across Germany to Magdeburg, Germany, and we went into Berlin to guard for the Potsdam Conference there. And then from there, we came home. My name is Rodney Ray Stewart, Jr. I dropped the junior when my father died in '68, I think it was. Yeah. And I was drafted in 1943, and I went through World War II. I joined the. I took basic training at Fort Knox, Kentucky, and from there I went to Fort Meade, Maryland, and from there to New York to be shipped overseas. I landed at Liverpool, and they sent me down through England to the southern part to a replacement depot there. I don't remember the name of it, but it's between Bath and Bristol, England. And from there, I went to Omaha Beach. That's in France. Mm-hmm. I joined the 2nd Armored there. I was one of the first replacements there.
Oh, it's a good thing you did. I sure had no idea.
From there, throughout Europe, all the way to Berlin, and I came back to Dusseldorf, where I was discharged from, sent home on a boat, and then discharged at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
All right.
That's where we are now.
Yeah, just stay here in North Carolina. So you said you were drafted. You didn't enlist.
I was drafted.
You were drafted.
Yeah.
And where were you living when you were drafted?
I was here in Gastonia.
In Gastonia?
No.
Okay.
Well, no. Let me back up. I went off to Baltimore to work at Glenn L. Martin Aircraft Factory, and I was 18 months there working at the aircraft factory before the Army drafted me.
Okay. And how old were you when you were drafted?
I was 18.
18?
Oh, 19.
19.
18, but 19 before we got in.
Before you got in. Just a little question. Do you remember, or what would you say was your impact, or what impacted you when you heard Pearl Harbor was attacked? Were you ready to fight, or were you one of the men who were?
I was a teenager then.
Yeah.
And I remember it. I remember when it happened, and I was on Sunday morning, and I walked to church, which is about half a mile away, you know. And we wondered then what was going to happen, you know. We didn't know war, you know. And one of my buddies and I, we just wondered what was going to go on now, you know. Mm-hmm. So it was a while before they drafted me.
Okay. So you said you were in the replacement division?
Yes.
Okay. And what branch of the military were you in?
I was with the 2nd Armored Division.
Okay.
Tanks.
Tanks?
Tanks.
All right, so 2nd Armored Division.
And the 2nd Armored Division was just like a small army. They had everything. They had aircraft, they had artillery, they had infantry, they had the tanks. It was just a small army, you know. was the only Army division like that.
What do you remember about your time in basic training? When you first got to basic, what was your impression of it?
My basic training, there's a lot of walking, and I love the gunnery, but and I made expert on everything except for M1 rifle. A cadre messed me up on that one. I should have had an expert, but it was one of these things about you hold the gun this way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as long as I held the gun the way I wanted to, I was an expert. I shot. I got the bullseye every time. But when he told me how to shoot, I ended up a sharpshooter rather than an expert. But anyway, the M1 rifle was not my gun anyway. And tanks, either pistols or you have a Tommy gun. And I wore a pistol because you couldn't get out. When you had to get out of the tank, a rifle was just in the way.
In a hurry, he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. I understand. And once you got into your unit, what can you tell me about your duties in your tank or in your unit?
But in the tank, there's five men. There's a tank commander, there's a gunner, there's a loader, there's a driver, and the assistant driver. And I was assistant driver, but my job was actuating a free-active 30 caliber machine gun. So he's not going to be doing. He's going to be doing something, you know, and being an assistant driver. It was. I thought it was the safest position on the tank, and turned out that it was the worst position for me.
Why is that?
Even though I came out without a scratch, the guns that were trying to get our tank was hitting right above my head.
That's why.
So twice, we knocked out the guns twice. I got out both times after the first one hit. Got through that one. Where the other guys didn't get there and got wounded. They was in the tank on the second shot. So, but anyway, if you get through the first shot, you pretty well can get out. All right. But I was in one of the best positions to get out because there's nobody getting in my way. I opened that lid and got out of there.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to get out, Ray?
About 1 second, 2 seconds.
I can believe that.
It's like this. It took the Germans 3 to 6 seconds to fire the second shot. And I was beside the tank when that second one hit.
So was your tank that you were in, was it destroyed in battle?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Well,
were you the only man who was not wounded by that?
well, the first tank was in the bowl. Battle of the Bulge. We were hit right above my head. Yeah, I got out. The first one hit. The tank commander got shrapnel right up around the eyes here.
It's
Not
far, I
bad,
think, more than
but
that.
he was enough to make him bleed. The driver, he got out. When the second one hit, he got shrapnel on the back. The gunner, when the second one hit, he was standing up on the turret, and it blew him all the way across his ditch the side ditch, sort of like just a regular road, the ditch side, drainage ditch. Blew him all the way across that road. The loader, he was waiting on him to get out. Here come a big piece of lead, and it burned its way right into his holster here. That's how close he come to it. The second time, we was on the Rhine River, trying to get across the river there on the bridge. We come across 33 anti-aircraft guns, which is 88. The Germans had one thing in their favor. They made everything 88s that they could, and they mounted them. They mounted those 88s, and their ammunition was set up for that, so they didn't have that much problem. But so we ran into this 33 anti-aircraft guns, which they generally shoot up, but they also bring it down. And so our company was coming in here to these 33 guns when we thought they were unmanned to begin with, but all of a sudden these guns came alive and everybody started shooting. We started shooting, but the first one got us, and we got out and got behind the tank. The second one hit and set it on fire, so that one burned up. The first one, I meant to tell you that it only got the gun shield, so I had to, and the driver, he had got wounded, so I had to drive the tank back to the maintenance. And this was in the walls, and on the way back, this maintenance sergeant, he pulled rank on me and said he was going to drive it back down this mountain. The Dochamp was on this old mountain, and it had been snowing. Snow was on the ground about 6 inches deep. It was below zero, and so I let him drive. I got in the Terrier, told him where to go, you know. And I kept telling him to move the tank over to the center of the road. He would not listen to me, and not being able, not being used to driving the tank to begin with. Anyway, he drove that thing off the side of the road, and we're looking down 2,000 feet down this mountain. So, at any rate, he stopped it there. Well, we called the maintenance people. The maintenance people come up, and they had to tie the maintenance tank off to a big tree which is across the road, and brought cables across the road and hooked to my tank. They said, "Okay, Stewart, now you get into that tank." I said, "Well, he was driving the tank. Get him in the." He said, "He's done got us in a position, so you get in and drive it out of there." So I did. So as soon as he started pulling on, I cranked it up and took off, and I just come right up out of the ditch, you know, right onto the road. So in the meantime, the track come off. The left track, I had locked the track so it wouldn't move, so it would come out. As soon as that happened, they had to drag me across the road. At the same time, this 82nd Infantry, it just started going up the mountain to to help the tankers out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, at any rate, we let that sergeant go. So I actually got it up there, and got the track back on the tank. I took it back. The gunner, bow gunner, no, not bow gunner, the loader, he had got to my tank by that time. So he acted as a tank commander, and I drove the tank, and it was about 15 miles to the rear before we got to maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And so we left it there. We got another tank for that. And also, the other one that was knocked out at the Lords, we got a new tank there. So we was on 4 different tanks.
Mm-hmm. It seemed like they kept you pretty well supplied then, just to give you new tanks every time.
Well, not new ones, so we just...
Well, a better tank after it had
say,
been damaged.
These tanks that got knocked out, they go to the rear and they'd work on them and bring them back to life.
Mm-hmm.
We probably get one of those.
Yeah.
We know the new tank, at Belgian Bulge, we got new 90mm tanks, which is 2 millimeters above the 88, which was a bigger gun, and the new tank. But we got a new tank in place of mine, but they didn't give it to me. They gave it to the guys that was trained for that tank. So we did it. But anyway, another time.
Ray, he's asking you questions. He's got questions he wants answered.
Okay.
Oh, it's fine. I would love to hear this too. So, I just have a couple questions, just a little bit more about the experience, I guess.
Okay.
Who was your commanding officer in the tank, and what was his leadership like for you?
He had, Robert and Merritt was, he just about a buck sergeant. I had,
That's a long time
I don't
ago.
remember 3 or 4 tank commanders,
Mm-hmm.
but the first tank commander I had, he was a buck sergeant, and he just wanted to see what I could do, you know. And the first action, I went in, I showed him, you know, and he laughed at me about shooting at a rabbit.
A rabbit.
Yeah, there's everybody. We went. Well, it was Carrington, France. Yeah, that's right. I joined the company. Anyway, first time I was in action, the bow gunner and rabbit gun up. The whole war was going on. Everybody was shooting. I didn't see a thing shoot out. Rabbit got up. It was in a thicket. Rabbit went up and run down this trail, and I got on that rabbit with a 30 caliber machine gun. Well, this tank commander, he laughed at me and said, "Stewart," says, "there's a whole war going on right in front of you, and you didn't see nothing but a rabbit to shoot at, and you missed him."
Well, that's one way to hunt rabbits, I guess.
Yeah. So, at any rate, so he saw what I could do there, and so he gave me to another buck sergeant, another tank. And then from that one, okay. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. You mentioned, I mean, I can tell by the board you have, and you mentioned it several times, that you were a part of Battle of the Bulge, and that's, you know, one of the most famous battles, especially the most famous tank battle in World War II. Yeah. Well, like, can you just give me some details on what was that like, being a part of that conflict?
Well, let me back up a minute. The Battle of the Bulge was not the word.
Mm-hmm.
The coast right here was the word. You had the squares that that the farm used, and they built up these terraces out of, put the rock out of the field and built these terraces up. And from those terraces, hedgerows grew up. And so you had to, and especially right in here, there's just a whirl of them, of these hedgerows. You didn't know what's going to happen. You had to bust through, and you didn't know whether you're going to get it when you bust through or not. You know?
Mm-hmm. You couldn't see past what was on the other side of them?
No. So, yeah. Well, to begin with, we had to go up over these terraces.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got forks. We put on their tank, and we busted through those things.
So, you're saying that the hardest conflict you were a part of was up here on the coast?
The hardest was here.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Belgian bulge was next. Now, to us, it's a little different with us here. See, the Germans broke through right here and was pushing this way. Now, we was up here at the time, so we came down here and stopped them right here. We stopped the Belgian bulge right here. Then we had to fight, had to push them back out.
You're talking about the Germans?
The Germans,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. The Germans got almost to that river, but they didn't get across.
Mm-hmm.
But this was to show, well, I'll put it this way. Now, these guys that was in here, to begin with, the Germans run over them, you know, just took them over, just moving fast.
Mm-hmm.
You mean literally ran over them?
But right here, see, we was having to fight these hedgerows all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, the Germans did. It was bad there, you know. They captured a whole lot of the GIs there. But by the time it's over with, we had come down here and stopped them and pushed them back, and relieved a whole lot of those. But some of them went on back in here, was taken back to other bases where they stayed the rest of the war. You know?
The prisoners?
Yeah, prisoners. Yeah.
So they were taken back to some of the camps
Yeah,
in Poland or a little part farther south?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But as far as the fighting was concerned, it was right here.
And how many I guess battles would you say you participated in along this whole campaign? I know you said that the big on the coast right there.
I'll put it this way. It started, and what day did we start? D-Day.
June the 6th.
D-Day.
Mm-hmm.
That was June
D-Day.
6th.
Okay.
You were the 9th.
I was there June the 9th. And very few times we got breaks. I remember one time we had a 2-week break, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that was good. And the time that up in Holland, there, we got a break, and we went into Holland. They had this big coal mine that showers for the people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We went in there to get a shower. I think that was the first shower I had for 6 months.
Wow.
So and everybody was the same way, so we all stuck alike. You know.
Well, I'm sure that tank was a nice smelling small little compartment, wasn't it?
Well, we didn't pay no attention to it
Oh, I'm sure.
no more. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody stuck was on the same way, so we didn't
They didn't smell it because they were.
We didn't smell it, you've gotten used to it.
Yeah. And how many of the men that you served with in your tank did you maintain relationships with after the war?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Well, we had our platoon had meetings. See if I can find it here. Yeah, I can't find it now. I don't know where it is.
What are you looking for?
That tank with the platoon around it. Anyway, I might find it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we didn't have too many get-togethers. Every year we had. Well, I didn't know the Second Army was having these meetings.
Your reunions.
It's about 10 years, I guess, before we knew that they were having these reunions. So, once I found out, we had another guy from Kings Mountain. He and I started going to all of them. As a matter of fact, he went to one before I did. So he knew it. We go to Fort Benning, Georgia, about 3 or 4 times. We went to Fort Knox 3 or 4 times. Went down to Fort Bragg a couple of times. Fort Jackson, about half a dozen times. Different ones we went to and tried to see the sites there.
Ray, you didn't answer his question. How many people did you stay in contact with?
Okay. All right. There's about, I guess about, I'd say 20 people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was told by Charlotte that you've recently been to Hollywood with a group of your members to be a part of the movie Fury.
I got something right here. I knew that one.
Oh, I of course I couldn't resist talking about it.
What are you looking for, Ray? Hollywood pictures.
That's the picture of Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. He was a tank commander. This movie they're making now in England for World War II.
Mm-hmm.
World War II tanks.
Fury.
Yeah, by the name of Fury. And this is that crew that is making that movie. These 4 people here are the ones that went out there to talk to them about it, tell them our stories. So,
I see.
Yeah.
thank
You might know them.
Oh, I do, yeah.
Yeah, because whoever looked at it yesterday knew them too. But now Ray didn't know them, you know.
None of us guys knew any of them. Didn't know Brad Pitt, or nobody.
I'm a movie enthusiast, so yeah, I do.
See, we don't go to the movies much, you know, and didn't.
So you guys were kind of their resources for all the knowledge that what it was like being on the tank and being in the conflicts. Yeah. I bet that was fun.
Yeah, and they were asking questions same as you are.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Want to get as prepared for the role as possible.
For the movie, yeah.
Yeah. Want to be as knowledgeable as possible. When the war in Europe ended, where were you at, and what was it like when you found that news out? When you were told that Germany had surrendered, where were you at, and what was it like?
Right here at Magdeburg. It's right on the Elbe River here.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's Berlin, 50 miles away, and Russians were coming up on the other side of the river, and they said, Eisenhower made this decision. Why go on when the Russians are already over, just running over everything?
Oh, they weren't. The Russians weren't stopping.
And he didn't want nobody else getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
After that. So we stopped there. We stopped to the Edinburgh.
Okay.
At
And when you found out that the Russians had taken Berlin and Hitler was gone and the war had ended, what was that feeling like for you? Was it just?
We was glad. We was glad it was over with. And we were going home.
Were you?
That was what we were. That was what we were thinking.
Were you more glad that you were going home, or was there any fear that you maybe sent into the Pacific Theater as well?
Yeah, we had that sense because we didn't know what was going to happen to the division. Some of us were younger, you know, and we could have been sent on, but it depended on how many points you had, and the most was 100 and some odd, maybe 125, something like that. And we had 85, so we were pretty well safe from going.
85. You said points?
Points, yeah.
How'd you get points?
Yeah. What kind of points were these? Then how'd you earn the points?
The points is how long you've been there, what you've been in, if you've been wounded, different things.
Different things got a certain
Different things you
Yeah.
got points for.
Okay. And you guys had 84 points?
85.
85 points.
Yeah.
So you were pretty safe from heading over there. When you came back home, how was life different?
When I got back home,
He wasn't
I got back
21.
to Fort Bragg. I didn't come. This is December the 24th or something like that. I got in Hampton Roads, Virginia, and they sent me down to Fort Bragg. Fort Bragg to be discharged. At this, those guys was going on for Christmas, so we didn't get to go. So at any rate, I was the 29th of December coming home, and Christmas and everything was over with at home. But I really surprised my mother. You know, she had, but my brother, he'd been in the Navy. He was younger than I am, but he was already home. So that took the surprise away, you know. Yeah, me being home was the surprise that already took me, didn't take it away. So it didn't mean that much really, but she was glad to see us.
Oh, I'm sure. And what did you do once you returned home? Like where did you go? Did you stay in Gastonia or?
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you to stop fiddling. My wife does the same thing all the time.
I had plenty. Yes, I don't remember exactly what I know that I didn't do anything for a while, and I went around seeing people just to see them, you know. Yeah, but it was maybe a month before I even got a job, you know. And I took a job in the mill, but I knew that I'd gone to 10th grade, and I knew I had to go back to school. So first chance I got, I enrolled in GI school, and it was a night school, project. And I finished that.
But Ray, they paid for all your schooling. The VA did.
Yeah. GI Army was paying for it. And I went on to I had here in Gastonia, had North Carolina off campus at Gastonia High School. So I took 3 courses there, and then I went down to Clemson College for 6 months, and different things happened that I didn't see that. Well, I had a job in Cocker Machine Company, which was leading into engineering.
Mhm.
In the engineering department, and so as a draftsman, I was a loop rail operator to begin with, and from there picked up drafting and engineering. I became one of the Cocker Machine textile engineers through the experience. Then they went on. They were sold off and went up to. They took the company at Rockford, Illinois. I went to General Tire and Shop as a design engineer, and so I stayed there. Well, at Cocker, I was there 22 years.
In
General
engineering.
Tire, I was there 18 years. So I wasn't a graduate engineer, but I felt that I was just as good as they were.
Oh yeah. Sometimes the schooling doesn't overtake the experience.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some more things that I could ask. You answered a lot of my questions just in talking in general. Bobby, do you have anything that you were curious about?
In World War I, since they went from just muskets, single fires and things to fully automatics, did the weapons still have the same effect on the other soldiers during World War II?
There were World War One. We had some of the guns from World War One, but not too much. See, the M1 had come along by that time. Time I was in there. But they still had the 103, which was in World War One. That was a good gun. But I took my basic M1. 103 and the M1. I took my basic. And then I had a pistol. I had a Tommy gun. I had 30 caliber machine gun. And I had the 75. 75 big gun. Which pointing out there about 500 yards, the target. But I got to shoot it.
When you were, this is a little off the cuff question. I see the badges you have. Were you awarded any commendations or
No.
any kind of awards?
Only the time I have. I was in 5 campaigns. From Normandy all the way to Berlin. That's 5 campaigns. Down here is 2 campaigns from United States over to Africa and Sicily. That's 2 campaigns. So the 2nd Armored Division had 7 stars, battle stars, and I had the 5.
Okay, so you came in after the war in Northern Africa. Once after D-Day had happened, you followed in.
They had come back over here to England. So they was in England when I got there.
So your tank and your platoon followed in after the Normandy invasion.
Yeah.
I think she said June 9th.
The invasion was a little bit different. You had the infantry, and you don't have too many tanks because they can't get on.
Yeah.
So it's all infantry and artillery. So, but anyway, then the 2nd Army came in here as after they had made a place for them to get in. So after they got in, they just came right around here, followed the coast to Carrington. And so they had that much when I got there.
Have you ever been back
That's-
to any of the
Now
Europe?
I'm talking about 3 days. They was in the 3rd day,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But it took 3 days to get over here, and that's where I went to them.
Okay.
So,
Right, he
My
said-
next question, I was saying, have you been back to any European nations since your time in the service?
no, I wanted to, but and they're going this year. But
It's the second armor.
the second army is going this year, but they're not going to where I wanted to go. You know,
Where are they going to?
so they're going to Brussels. They're going to where Brussels is. Brussels is up in here. They're going to Brussels. Now, where I wanted to go to is Dushan down here, where we got knocked out at. I wanted to go back there, but they don't do things like you did in the war. So, I would like to go by, but I don't want to.
He's
And,
90, so
well,
he doesn't
well,
think
like-
he wants to go now.
Just like our last reunion, 5 guys from the war was there. 5. So,
There was lots of GIs,
you know,
but the younger ones.
what it is, the Belgian people have developed a second armored
Appreciation.
something, it's just an outfit that's particular toward the second army, really. And they do the same thing, you know, they go to these places and have these shows to put on and everything like that. But,
Yeah. I heard just recently I had a veteran come talk to one of my classes. He was part of the Normandy invasion, and he said that he never wanted to go back until I think he went back in 1996 was the first time he went back, but he had been wounded. He had been shot 8 times, and 6 of those shots was on the beach of Normandy, and then 2 shots were the day after when a sniper shot him while he was laying on a stretcher,
No, yeah.
waiting to be taken to a medical bay. So, but he said, yeah, he enjoyed going back now, but he said he had no desire to go back until the late 90s, when he just said he just needed to get some closure.
I would like to see Normandy.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my first one, and then the second one would be where I got shot over there.
He said standing on the beach then just didn't feel like the same beach. It almost didn't feel like the same place anymore.
Yeah.
Just being there on a regular day.
Yeah,
But,
they got regular beach people there, you know, just like down here, Myrtle Beach.
yeah. I'm just thinking that's a long campaign, and how long did you stay in Europe after the war was over before they shipped you back to the States?
Well, the war was over. The war was over at Magdeburg, right here. Then it took us a couple days to get to Berlin. By the way, the Russians stopped us, tried to stop us from going to Berlin. Now, we've got Berlin was set up in 5 different areas. But they didn't want us in Berlin. They tried to stop us. They threw up roadblocks. We just went around.
So how much longer were you there? Did you
We was in Berlin about I say 6 to 8 weeks, something like that.
and how was that different once you were there and the fighting itself was over? how was the environment different? I mean, what was it like just to be there?
Magdeburg was an action right there.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just glad that it was over with, you know.
Just an overwhelming sense of relief.
When the Russians started coming up, we said, it's over.
Let them have it.
Bobby, have you thought of anything else you'd like to ask? Because I only have one more question that I can really think of, and it was just a broad question of what are some of your most vivid memories of your time in Europe?
I say,
It can be good or bad memories, just what are some of your most vivid?
was on here on the at Norman Beach. That's the most anxious because we didn't know what was going on. But after I got shooting that gun, it just came natural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shooting at that rabbit. Well, it just broke everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, that's gonna be fun. But it wasn't so much fun.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, what? I just don't know how to word this exactly, but
And then, let's see, right here, after fighting all the way down through the Cherbourg Peninsula, we broke through and went east. Now, the Germans are still in here, okay? So, we was headed to Paris, the division was. All of a sudden, they said, well, the Germans are crossing the Elbe. So we need somebody to go up there and stop them. The steel bridge across the river. We went up there, and so we stayed there about 3 or 4 days, and stopped the Germans from getting across there.
mm-hmm.
That's where we parked there. We had been up on the hill, and the German planes were coming in, and we had a good time, you know, shooting at those planes, you know. But then we came down the next day, and we was.
You didn't have firepower that would reach those planes.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. There was me and another guy. We was on guard duty. And here come bitch hit Charlie about dusk, you know. So I jumped on the gun. He jumped on. He acted as a letter. But anyway, I really let that thing have it. You know. First time he come over, we're up on a hill. The valley's down here and the river's down here. He came up across here. He just went up about 100 feet above us. And I hadn't got to the gun yet, but he made another pass down there and said, next time I'll get him. So he come around and I let loose at him, and those tracers just tailing right in behind him and underneath him, and I never did get right to him, you know. But I just let it have it. Not like those deal buff there. Then I say we got knocked out here. I told you about that.
I don't think you probably need your glasses.
This town here somewhere in Belgium. Brussels.
Mm-hmm.
Brussels right there. I went in a restaurant and I said, that rabbit. I thought, rabbit? fixed rabbit. It was good. Here's Russell right here. But, and then Hassel, and then up into, the Albert Canal, that's, Holland. Holland, it was low country. You see the windmills.
Mm-hmm.
And, I can't say too much about them, but there were still Germans there. We had to watch it.
Ray, where'd you get that map? Who gave, did they give y'all that map?
Yeah, the company did. Then after the Belgian boys, we came back up here and went across the Road River here at Julie. And then the next was the Rhine River. It was at Adolf Hitler Bridge was right here. Yeah. That's where we run into these 33 anti-aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
Out across here, Liebenstedt was, we met the 3rd Army Division. They came right in here together, right here, at Liebenstedt. And then went on into Magdeburg. Now,
You've already told them about that, Ray.
this is, that was, you gotta be careful all along, you know? It wasn't just go, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one road, it was...
Yeah. No, you had to be careful. That took, that's it. From June the 6th, to the next June, to the next May. 9 months. It took 9 months from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
But that was fighting all the way.
Yeah. Another question just came to my head. Being so young when you got back home, in any of the future conflicts that America participated in, did you ever have any inclinations to join the service again?
No.
You weren't going back?
Never had that.
That was a fast though. See, I did not know him then. He's 7 years older than I am.
And when did you two meet and get together?
1950. When I was in nursing school.
Clemson and working at Cochran. And the guys in my church, they were dating these nurses. And I had a car. So that's what got me up there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some older girls and Dottie there, but she was the youngest one. I took her.
Yeah, he's 7 years older than I am.
Well, Bobby, do you have anything else you'd like to ask, or anything on your mind?
If you met someone that was thinking about joining today, what would you tell them?
What?
If you met someone today that was thinking about joining, what would you tell them?
No, it's my hearing aid, so I can't.
He said if you met someone today who was considering joining the military, what would you tell them as advice or words of wisdom?
Depending on what they want to get in. If they were wanting to get in engineering or something like that, you know, wanting some time to pay for their time in college, I say okay. But to go in a conflict at that time.
Did any of your sons or grandsons ever join the service or think about it?
My son, he was in the Vietnam area. He was in college at the time, and he didn't have to go, call him and call it.
He was,
But
what'd
some,
you have to do? He wasn't, you had to sign up when you got, what, 21 or 19?
21, no, 18.
18.
The Selective Service Act.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when he was in service.
But anyway, he was lucky, you know. He didn't have to go. They, but when we came in, they come out with flying an American flag, about this size.
Mm-hmm.
The Germans runs back out, they come out with us. That's our bulletin that we have twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's second on Halloween. But the thing about it is, there's not many of these of us left, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the guys that stayed in, well, they, I guess it was in the 60s when they did away with the second
They
one.
show these
They
pictures.
got all them people, you know. They're out to Hollywood. Yeah, same picture there. That's those same fellows. That was looking at across the San Fernando Valley. This is in the hotel room here. We went up to the second floor there. There Dottie is. She's on that one. This is out back. The W Hotel that went down here and inside there. This was at a breakfast there in the hotel. That was some other place, I don't know. This is Brad Pitt and one of the other guys with Dottie. That's that's the loader here. He was the bow gunner. He's the tank commander.
Mm-hmm.
This is going into the hotel. So step into the spotlight, and there were 4 of us, is it, right there, sitting there.
And were all four of you all in the same tank?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was a driver, tank driver in the 67th Regiment.
Okay.
I was a driver in the 66th Regiment. This guy was a recon man, reconnaissance. Yeah, they had a pretty dangerous position. You know, they had to go out and see what's there. And this guy, he was a infantry sergeant, so he had it pretty bad too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 of the crew there, and there's 2 of us. And this was signing autographs there. There's a loader here. These were some of the guys that went with the women. This guy, that's his daughter there.
Mm-hmm.
He was in and the rooms had these bottles, you know. Here we are again. That's that guy, the other driver, both of those drivers. They caught Dottie outside with a
Pirate.
he pirate, yeah. That's me and Brad Pitt.